Hello there, welcome to Nightingale Reviews. I'm Bailey. Today I'm very excited because I'm doing a review, which I don't do often because I'm more of a written review person who just writes reviews on the computer.
So, if this is awkward to you, I completely understand. And if you just want to check out my written review, that'll be left down in the doobly-doo.
So I'm very sorry if this is sort of awkward, but I will try my best to make this a good review. And also, this is non-spoilery. There will be a slightly spoilery section where I will discuss my thoughts thoroughly, which I will definitely let you know when that happens. There will be a big warning. You won't miss it, trust me.
You know it when you see it.
Today, the book that I am reviewing, I thought it was good because it's October, and so I decided to do a zombie book. And the book that I have here is Zomburbia, the first book in the Zombie Apocalypse series by Adam Gallardo. Is it Spanish or snake?
Gallardo. I don't know.
I'm very sorry. Right now it's a duology. I'm not sure if they're creating a third book. So I gave this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. I have very mixed feelings about it, which I will get into, but first I will give you a slight overview of the book. This book is sort of post-apocalyptic in which the zombie apocalypse has occurred. Life continues to go on though. They just build fences around their homes, like chain link fences are up. Schools have doubled fences. People have really expensive gated communities. If you're the rich, if you're not the rich, well, I'm sorry. You kind of have to deal with zombies and you might get eaten.
Probability of you getting eaten if you're not of the rich, pretty high. Pretty high.
You still have your highways, you still have your cities, you just don't have major cities most of the time because, well, that's probably where the zombie infection spreads super fast, so it just kind of makes sense. This story focuses on the female protagonist, Courtney, who is a high schooler who's extremely focused on her grades. She lives in Salem, Oregon, and she wants to get out of there. She wants to get out of there fast. She wants to go to college in New York. She wants to find a cure and make a zombie vaccine. However, New York is completely overrun by zombies, and there's no hope of her ever doing that, except if the army evacuates New York by the time she graduates, which the chances of that are very low because every single time they make an advancement, they have to fall back because problems, people. Problems. To be honest, Courtney, like many people, is part of the lovely middle class.
Representing.
As a result, she doesn't have that much money and she knows she can't make it to New York, and so she works at a fast food restaurant called the Bully Burger. Bully Burger.
Bully. Whatever Theodore Roosevelt said. Bully. Yep. The Bully Burger. That's what it's called.
And on the side, she sells drugs. Now this isn't any drug, it's called vitamin Z, and vitamin Z is made out of real zombie brains. I don't know why you'd even attempt to put that in your mouth. Yeah, it sounds bad to begin with. It's extremely addictive. She just continues to sell it though. As the story goes on, she notices that something's weird in the zombie world. The zombies are getting faster, they're getting smarter, and this is concerning to her, but nobody pays attention. And so she goes on with her life in high school with her two friends, Willie and Sherry, and then she catches the attention of this boy, Brandon. Now, let's make this clear here. Courtney and her gang are sort of lower in the school hierarchy, and Brandon is like the top of the hierarchy. He's like the king of the jocks. And so when he takes interest in Courtney, it's kind of suspicious. She sort of thinks this, but she doesn't really want to accept it, and her friend Sherry keeps going, you know, that's weird, Courtney. Get a grip, what's going on? And Courtney's like,
Sherry, just because this is happening doesn't mean it's like weird. He could be like being honest, so just back off.
Sherry wasn't too happy. Sherry's also very upset with Courtney for selling vitamin Z, and she's always on her case, but Courtney doesn't care. She just like,
Sherry, let me sell my drugs. I need money for college.
Those couple sentences sound really weird. I feel really bad for saying that sentence, but. So basically this is just the story of Courtney and her high school life and her finding out that something's really weird going on with the zombies, and she's trying to get into a college, and she's trying to get money, and she's trying to deal with her friendship. And it says, if I can avoid being arrested, eaten by shufflers, or catching the eye of some stupid boy, I should be able to make it through finals week still breathing. Okay. Beginning with the review now. As I said previously at the very beginning of this, I have very mixed feelings about this book. I will say that I really loved the plot line and the storyline. The problem was within the characters. The characters really irked me. The storyline is very addicting, the thought that life still goes on pretty easily as long as you keep away from The Walking Dead, or the Shufflers as they're sometimes called in this book. Even though it irritated me at certain points, I still say it's really good. I loved the plotline. I loved the thought of this girl trying to accomplish this academic dream while trying to live in this post-apocalyptic world and dealing with zombies. The setting was also very fascinating, like I said before, because this world is normal.
And except for The Walking Dead, baby. Except for The Walking Dead.
Life still goes on, which I always find that really fascinating because sometimes I feel like just this world where it's overrun by zombies and life is just too hard to have normalcy in it. I find that it can be really repetitive, but I love it when there's a twist that you can actually do things that are normal, and so that's this.
That's this.
Though, if I think about it, I wouldn't really want to go to school if I knew that I could be eaten by a zombie going to and from. That's a little scary. That's a little scary. Your biggest problem is a zombie, not a bully at school. A zombie come in and eat you. High school problems. Another thing that I really liked about this novel was Courtney's father. He just seemed like this great figure in her life. In Courtney's family situation, her mother left as soon as the zombie apocalypse started, and so it's always just been her and her father, and I love the relationship between the two of them. It's just really fun to see unfold, and he seems to really genuinely care about his daughter and her life. And you don't always see that, unfortunately, in life, but here it was just so strong. I absolutely loved that. I feel really horrible saying the things I didn't like about this book, so I don't mean to be rude at all. I don't mean to be offensive. I'm just saying my opinion, so I'm really, really sorry if you really enjoyed this book and you have different opinions than me. Then we get to the characters. Let's start with Courtney, shall we? Courtney, as I said previously, is very academic, and because she's academic, we know that she's extremely studious, and we know that she has to be highly intelligent. And she knows she's highly intelligent, and she's antisocial, which I am perfectly for. I love antisocial characters because they mimic my life perfectly. I can't tell you how many times I've fallen downstairs in front of people and they just stared at me. It happens, people. It happens. Courtney is basically an introvert, but she's also very outspoken between her friends. She's really sassy. I loved at the beginning of this book when you get to meet her sass, but then as the story progresses, her sass just gets very snarky to be the point of being rude. So if you're not as intelligent as Courtney, she is very quick to point out your faults. She's very quick to point out the problems with things that you say. If it's not grammatical, if it's the wrong phrase, she'll definitely point out on that, and she's very critical. I didn't really like that about this character. However, she does realize that she can be extremely critical, and she recognizes this, and then she says to herself, well, I really need to stop that. But as the story goes on, she just constantly falls back on that criticism and that rudeness. Therefore, I just disliked her character more and more as the series progressed. But on the other hand, I did like that she recognized her faults and that she wanted to improve. It's just that she couldn't improve on it very well.
The sun is going down. Oh my gosh.
Another character that I didn't extremely love was Sherry. I didn't love her character because she always makes fun of Willie a lot. And so does the main character, Courtney. They're always kind of downplaying him and putting him down, and that just sort of was very offensive. And moving on to Willie, I really loved the character Willie. He was one of my top 2 favorite characters. I just thought he was super sweet and super awesome. He's just like that friend who's like a giant teddy bear that you really want to hug. His sister has a mental disability, and he was just so nice to his little sister, but his parents were just horrible to her. The last character that I want to briefly talk about is Brandon. Brandon, he seems like that perfect golden boy. He's also appears to be very sweet and kind, and when he comes and meets Courtney and confronts her, he says that he's very intrigued by her and then he might want to start a friendship with her, and then he sort of moves on to, I kind of want to be your boyfriend. And it's all very suspicious though, because it's just suddenly out of the blue. While he wasn't a terrible character, he just was constantly referred to as that puppy dog look boy thing. Whenever Courtney said something that was true or said something that was upsetting to him, he was all happy, and then he had her puppy dog look. And that happened time and time again in the book. I don't know how many times it happened, but it was a lot. As the story progressed, I just started to like Brandon less and less. Brandon just lost his steam for me pretty quick. At first I really liked him, and then he just fell further and further and further and further and further. One thing that I did like about this book was that there was drama. There was definite zombie gore in this book for a YA novel. Well, it was a zombie apocalypse novel. It was also sort of a contemporary. It feels like a contemporary with this really awesome zombie kick in it. And so there is definitely your drama, but there's also this just awesome zombie fighting. Trust me, especially at the end, they've got that covered. However, with the drama, you get these scenes with Courtney. She, I'm absolutely sure, is under tons of pressure, but then it kind of got annoying because on multiple occasions, she does that thing where, like, you're laughing, and then you start to laugh really hard, and then you start to cry, and then you start to hysterically cry. It's like... thing. Also thought it was very important that because Courtney sells vitamin Z, the author heavily delved into that. So Courtney, it was constantly weighing on her mind, am I ruining these people's lives? I'm not forcing the drugs on them, but I am supplying them. And so she sort of battles with herself. If I'm supplying them, does that mean I'm ruining their lives, or is that just them themselves? Do I play a part in that? So that was very important for the author to do that in this book, and I thought that was awesome of him. However, a lot of people and reviews that I've read didn't like the drug aspect of this book and how she was a drug dealer, which is sort of upsetting, but what the author does is he spins that to a point where it confronts the reader with, how are you affecting someone's life by what you do? Can you ruin someone's life indirectly? And I thought he did an extremely good job with that. While this book does have its flaws, it's also very enjoyable as long as you don't mind characters who can be very pushy, who can be very rude, who can be very snarky in an upsetting way, hurt puppy dog looks all the time, and weird hysterical crying and laughter. You're in for a very awesome zombie book that has the gore but also feelings behind it, and I will definitely eventually pick up the second volume. That's all I can really say without spoiling anything. However, if you have read this book and you want to stick around, or if you don't plan on reading the book and you just want to hear my thoughts afterwards, that's what's coming next. So if you don't want to hear my spoiler part, goodbye. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Warning, warning, this is the Nishimaru. I'm kidding. It's just the spoiler part's happening. The spoiler part's happening. Okay.
I did not like how the author killed off the two best friends. I didn't see the point of Willie having to die and Sherry having to die. And what I didn't understand was if Willie loved his sister so much, then why was he willing to die if he knew that he was the only person who really loved her and would take care of her? Why would he abandon her? And then when Sherry died, I thought that was a bit much. I didn't really feel much though for when Sherry died. I felt bad on a certain level, but at the same time I just didn't have enough of a connection with her to really bring myself to feel terrible. I thought the part when they took the vitamin Z and chased a cat was absolutely disgusting, and then they ate it. I felt sick to my stomach.
Maybe I'm just weak.
And I feel like I know why there's smarter zombies and why they're faster. I feel like that's because the humans are taking vitamin Z, they become zombie-like, and that's when they go and act like zombies, and that's why they're smarter. With the drug in their system, they just have sort of that mindset. That's the reason that they're the smarter and faster people, because they're not true zombies, they're part human still. Do you think that? I totally felt that that's what it is. So I'm really excited to find out, because I feel like that's what it is. I feel like that's what it is. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about this book. That's spoilery. Yeah, it wasn't a lot, was it? This video's quote I decided to take from this book because why not? It is said by Courtney's dad. I think that when we make mistakes, when we lose our way, that's when we need the love of others the most. Do you plan on reading this book? Have you ever read any books where you just love the plot, but you didn't like the main character as much or any of the supporting characters? Please let me know down in the comments. I'd really love to know your thoughts. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye! Don't judge. I love you, Willie. I love you, Willie.
Let's not dwell on my mispronunciations, shall we? Terrible, terrible, awful.
Yeah.